Good morning. It's Wednesday, December 20th, 2023. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Xingyi. We have a new series that I'm just getting started with to review the 5 elements linking form, the 12 animals linking form, and all of the fundamentals, most of which I've already covered in other classes. This class, this series, these classes, I have to pick one, don't I? That cover all of what I have already done, plus a little bit more. And we're going to get started here real quick. I'm going to talk about that as we get started. So one of the things that I have done with previous classes is to make assumptions. Yep, bend the knees, wiggle the toes, wiggle fingers. We're talking while we're moving. Yes, that idea that I made these assumptions. So I'm going to assume that you have learned this move, and this move, because that's what I taught yesterday. We're going to cover it again. That assumption is part of what I'm doing with these sessions. I'm assuming that you already know or have access to, and that's on me, access to the other sessions that I have recorded. And that as I fill in the gaps, as I repeat some of this with a little bit more advanced level, that I'm going to tie all of that together. I'm going to tie all of those materials together so that there will be, maybe not quite yet, but I'm getting there, a coherent set that someone could start with and work through the foundations and then develop a little bit more and develop a little bit more. And then where do I go from here? That's really where my focus is for these sessions. Where do I go from here? Feet about shoulder width apart, bend the knees, wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, hands circle to the front, basic stretch. Hands up along the center line, reach out over the legs, roll up, and again. One more time. And come on up. Elbows drop down, wrists, fingertips, hands return to your sides. I have talked about warm-ups. This was mine. I keep this particular set because it does everything that I need to do in just those 3 stretches. Warms up my back, warms up my legs, gets my shoulders open and relaxed, and it sets up my internal work. Those 3 circles, the large heavenly circle, the small heavenly circle, and the tiny heavenly circle, sets it all up. In longer form practice, because that's how I was able to develop that skill, longer form practice. I have several warm-ups that I have introduced. I'm going to introduce, or review, I guess, one of those today. This is more focused on external practice, and it's something that I learned from Professor Liu, who is also the person who taught me Xingyi. Feet about shoulder width apart, bend the knees, arms up, elbows out, and go back. 1, 2, turn the fist, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Up and down, left hand up. Go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Across. One hand behind, right hand behind, left hand over, and go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up and down. We go back 1, 2, down, 3, 4. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And come on up. All right. Right leg front, left leg back. Open the knee. Do not go past the toes. Little bounce. And go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, other side. And go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. I'm going to skip the next set for right now. It's here and all the way down. Okay? This leg extends. I'm on this side all the way down. I need to do some stretches in order to have the flexibility that I need to do that. That recognition. I was thinking about this last night. I used to be able to do this. Why am I having trouble with it? Well, I used to spend an hour, maybe 2, on the floor, stretching, doing floor sets. That gave me the flexibility through the leg and the hip, as well as the strength and the ability to support my weight through my hips and the upper part of the torso so that I could do it. That part of physiology, understanding what your current level of strength is, what you can do to build that strength, and how to develop it is part of every martial art. That's what we're practicing, right? All right? Hang on a second. In my own work, foundations, right? The basic sets for Tai Chi were something that I learned. I was practicing some other things. I had some sets that I had learned from dance. I had a set of sit-ups that I've shown it a couple of times, I think. Yeah, I did that. And Hong Wen asked me, looking at it, I said, yeah, that's great, but it's not going to help you develop your Tai Chi skills. It's going to help you get stronger. It will help you with other things, but it won't help you with your Tai Chi. Practicing Tai Chi will help you with your Tai Chi skills. Okay. Exactly. That idea that, I could do several things, and in fact, some things I probably should do, because there are things that we can do that are not something we're going to use directly in the art. So the floor stretches that I just talked about, yeah, probably not. There's not going to be a time when I'm just going to say, oh, you know, wait a minute, sit down on the floor. I'm going to sit down on the floor, we'll do some stretches. It's not going to happen. All right, all right. But that body conditioning that we do when we're doing something else, whether it's strength building, whether it's running, right? If I go out, I've never been a runner. If I go out and I run 10 miles and I'm able to do that reasonably well, that will contribute a lot to whatever I'm doing in whatever martial art I'm practicing, whatever other things that I'm doing. It does. It's an add-on, and that's true for all of the arts that I practice. So when I'm practicing Xingyi, and we're going to start here pretty quick, Xingyi, my study of Tai Chi contributes to what I am able to understand about my Xingyi practice. My Xingyi practice is different than my Tai Chi practice. Likewise, Bagua. My Bagua practice is different than my Xingyi practice. It should be. I talk about this frequently. But it contributes to what I'm able to do in my Xingyi practice. As I develop the turning through the waist that I need for Bagua, and the placement of a hip for direction and for the changes, I get the same, I can use that, best way I can say it, I can use that in my Xingyi practice. Right foot back, left foot front. Breathe in. Right there. That turn. Right? I gotta go this way. Right? That turn is helped by my Bagua practice. My stepping is helped by my Tai Chi practice. Neither Bagua nor Tai Chi are Xingyi. My physical development, as well as my internal development, is all informed by everything that I practice. So if I practice running, when I come to Xingyi practice, I may need to adjust what I'm doing with my legs because of the stepping method. I may need to adjust what I'm doing with my upper body because in Xingyi, the upper body stays very quiet. It may not, the breath and the way that we use the breath, a little bit different, but the ability to regulate the breath is something that is valuable, and we can use that. So as we're looking at which skills, what can we do, what are we doing, what are we paying attention to, we can also look at what other skills may contribute to what we're able to do. So if I want my Xingyi to get better, then I need to practice Xingyi. If I want my leg work to get better for Xingyi, then, well, I need to practice Xingyi. If I want to develop more flexibility in my legs, there are things that I can do in Xingyi that will help with that. There are. Stretching, developing greater tensile strength so that as you extend and return, that flexibility, it's you don't overstretch the muscle, right? You don't try and extend further than you can extend. You develop the flexibility and the tensile strength that the muscle allows you to do that and continues to support whatever it needs to support. All right. I'm going to show this again for a second. All right. Right foot back, left foot front. I'm going to slow this down. Pull in. Extend. Step through. Pull in. Extend. Step through. Turn. Get ready to go this way. Step. Step through. P-twine. Pull in. Notice this little bit of a turn here, right? Here. There's just, this is straight, but there's just a slight, it's not over here. No. This is straight. That's correct, right? Just that little tiny bit. And most of it is in the hip. It's just a slight turn forward. 6, 4, slight. No, we do that, but not here, okay? Just slight. Left hand front. If I on the right side, that turn will be to the right. As I pull in, both fists close, and I sit straight. Pull into the back leg, push forward and back with the front leg. Push forward and down with the back leg. Sit back to extend the front foot forward. The hand and foot go together. As you step through, step on the heel, put it down, right? As you step through, this hand comes up to the inside, down to the outside, left hand pulls back. Right foot closes. This stepping method. Come here. Left foot front, right foot back. Step, step, close. This is Xingyi stepping method. This is not Bagua. This is not Tai Chi. This is Xingyi. 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 It's my day. That stepping method carries through all of Xingyi. Not only in the basic 5 elements, but also in the 12 animals. Now, each animal has some differences in the way that the stepping method is done, but the foundation that we carry forward, not back, and that we're moving in the direction that we're going, right? In Tai Chi, I could be moving this way and I could be going that way. Seriously. I'm going this way and I'm moving that way. Xingyi doesn't really do that. We could, But generally, Xingyi goes in the direction that you're going. If I'm going this way, I'm going this way. There's not the forward and back, this way, that way. Try and find me that Tai Chi has. Xingyi is very direct. So as we're moving, we want to pay attention to that in all of the stepping. So this step in, and close is prevalent in all of the forms that carry forward. Even when we turn around, right? So I'm here, I'm going this way. It's not a question. I'm going this way. That sense that I know where I'm going, I know I'm going that way. That's where I'm going. That sense is one of the things that impressed me when I very first started learning Xingyi. It was very different than what I had been doing in Tai Chi, and I was intrigued. I liked it. At first, I thought it was too simple. P-tron. I'm still working on P-tron here. All right. Step, close. That's it. P-tron. That's it. That's really simple. Not as simple as it looks. That part of my own understanding didn't come until later. I learned. I'm gonna learn that. Absolutely. But my understanding of what was going on and what connections, internal and external, were part of Xingyi practice, just the 5 elements. I didn't really come to understand that until later. And at that time later, I was practicing roughly 100 P-tron and 50 each of Dron-tron, Bong-tron, Pao-tron, Hong-tron every day. I had a thing set up in the garden where I do laps, and I do 3 laps for P-tron, and then I just do 2 laps for the others, give or take. That practice informed my understanding of how to move, what I needed to do in order to properly complete the movement, and what I needed to refrain from in order to properly complete the movement. P-tron, do not do this. This is the bad one. Don't do this. Okay. P-tron. Okay, here we go. P-tron. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. P-tron. Right? Here we go. P-tron. I just talked about this. Don't do this. All right, this P-tron. We're gonna do P-tron over here. Oh, over hands. Look at the hands. Where are the hands? This hand's over here. This hand's over here. Do P-tron. No. Look at the foot. No. This is wrong. Don't do this. Okay? This is P-tron. Don't do that. Don't. I exaggerated that on purpose. Don't do that. Okay? No. Foundations matter to every movement. Okay? So when you're off over here doing something here and you're floating your hands up here and you're doing some kind, where's the connection? Where is the root? Where is that solid foundation that we should have? I'm not bouncing. Not. And as I step through, there's no going up. It's straight. Unless I was trying to go up, which I might do if I was doing a jump of some sort, or step up. Yeah, that's all right. We do that. Not here. Straight through. I mean, I'm going to go this way. So, straight line. At straight, direct. This is where I'm going, this is where I went. That concept, and I'm beating up on it a lot, this is so fundamental and so important. In my own teaching, right? My own teaching. Don't do this. Step, step close. No. No. That is exaggerated. It is common. We don't normally have the sense of keeping this straight. So on the same plane right here. My hands did not move up and down. They didn't. I know that. They didn't. They moved forward. That type of movement is what we want. It just goes. In P-tron, split, down, out. From here, split, down, out. Right? I went up. I did. I went up when my hands came up, right? That time I didn't. Here. Right here. Split, down, out. It goes with the movement. It's part of the whole movement. It's not a separate thing. So as we are paying attention to our step, we have that sense of, I got to shift back a little bit here in order to be able to pick this foot up, right? Weight's got to be back here in order for me to pick this up. If I've got 40% of my weight on my front foot, I can't pick it up. I could, shift a little bit more, pick it up, move, and close. I should end up with 40% of my weight on my front leg and 60% on my back. That closed step is not a rocking step. All right, so step, close, no. Step, step, close. As I bring this foot up under me, right, it takes 60, we push down and open so that it takes 60% of my weight, 40% stays on the front. As I come through here, before I close, I'm already done. Slow it down a little bit. Pull in. Step. Easier to do if I'm going fast. All right? That timing is what we're looking for. Try again. So, as I pull in, here, come through, I'm traveling normally when I do this. I don't usually practice in slow motion, not for this, but it is helpful. That, where was I, right for me? I'm already here when my foot closes. That basic step, along with the sense of where my hand should be, here we go, down here, not up here, right? No higher than your nose. So when this hand comes out, it's not up here, it's your nose. Your chin is all right, but the nose or the chin, right? Same with this. No. Right? I'm here. It doesn't go higher than my nose. I'm going this way, I'm not going this way. Right? If my goal is to step up here, then yeah, okay. But that's not what we're doing in this set. It's not. I'm going to go forward. In practice, this idea that we have the elements, metal, water, wood, fire, and earth, that's the creative cycle in Xingyi. Metal is white. And, yeah, I did. And it has correspondence to the skin color as well as to the eyes and to the lungs. The folklore behind these correspondences is that if my opponent appears pale, has a white appearance, metal, that person may have some trouble breathing. Lungs. That may give me an opportunity with that opponent that I wouldn't have otherwise. The opponent appears flushed, reddish color. Tron has correspondence to the heart, maybe in the blood system. Maybe they're having a little trouble with their circulatory system. Maybe they got drunk last night. That puts me in a great advantage, doesn't it? Does. That recognition based on these correspondences is part of the folklore that I learned. It's part of what Professor Liu taught, and it's part of that tradition that as we're looking at what we're doing in the art, there's really much more to it. It's not just let's go do some movement. It's in a lot of places that may be what's all that's taught. That's okay. But there is more. And that sense of metal, what might that quality be? What are we paying attention to when we think about that element? And what is the difference between the creative cycle and the destructive cycle? And how can we use that? Two-person practice. Creative and destructive. If I want to counter Bangchuan, well, what might I use? Could. That's exactly in the two-person set. That's the counter. It's logical, works. I could use Hungchuan, but it's not really going to help with the direction and force that would be exerted by Bangchuan. It's not. This, no, not really. Chuan. Come here. This goes here. That sense of creative, which is the 5 elements linking practice, and the destructive, which is the two-person set, so that you learn fundamental counters and which kinds of movements are more easily countered by which other kinds of movements. Xingyi has a simplicity to it that is something that when I go back, when I first started learning, I didn't really understand that simplicity and what it offers. It's really quite elegant in the way that it presents the fundamental direction and force and the counters to it. It's very clear. There's not a lot of ambiguity like there is with Tai Chi. And some with Bagua as well, and Xingyi didn't have that much ambiguity. Xingyi's, as I said, it's very direct. That clarity in part comes from the simplicity of movement and the ability to connect and direct what I'm doing in the movement, force, breath, internal energy, with each part of that movement, so that everything goes together, all at the same time. That simplicity bringing everything all together, it's just right there, is not as easy to achieve as it sounds, all right? It's one of the things that we work for. I have beat up on this topic quite a bit. I'm going to speed things up a little bit next week with Xingyi class. We're going to cover all the 5 elements, right? I cover all 5. And we'll pay attention a little bit more to this sense of what we're doing behind the movement. What is the physics? Because quite literally, that's what we're talking about. What is the physics and the geometry behind the movement? P-tron. That's the physics and the geometry behind P-tron. We'll talk about that a little bit more, and I'm going to focus more on Dron-tron, Bone-tron, Pow-tron, and Hung-tron next week. Thank you for being here. I'll be back tomorrow with Tai Chi. Friday, Qigong. I appreciate all of you. Thank you.